Welcome into Pallilo Points. I'm Brandon Stranger, Sports Map Houston. He is Charlie Pallilo of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. And don't worry, Charlie, I'm not going to waste time telling the viewers to hit like on the video or subscribe to the channel or click the bell for notifications when new episode drops, because I just want to get right into this Astros conversation. Let's start with Jake Odorizzi. He has looked kind of questionable and now seems to be getting it together. When we last spoke about the rotation, you felt like maybe Jake could be the odd man out given his performance. But now, I mean, God, the rotation is just so stacked. You could make the argument that Luis Garcia, maybe their second best pitcher behind Framber Valdez. So that's a lot of information dump. Charlie, just tell me, how do you project out this pitching staff going forward?
It's going to be very interesting to see how long they opt to go with this six-man rotation. They're in a stretch of 20 games in 20 days. They will have stretches again later this season where you have an off day on Thursday, followed by an off day the ensuing Monday, or a Monday and then 3 days later on the Thursday. Very little reason to be in a six-man rotation at that point. But for at least 3 turns now, they can assess, they can build guys up still, Odorizzi most specifically, but Urquidy and McCullers and Valdez and Greinke. Embarrassment of riches might be stretching it a little bit, but they have at least B-plus depth that can stack with anyone else. Not the pure ace that you'd say, all right, game one, we have the advantage on the mound in a playoff series, unless perhaps Framber Valdez is going to be that guy by the time this season ends. So I think they can allow nature to take its course. If you build up 6, someone will probably tail off in effectiveness. Another injury along the way to someone seems likely. Garcia, who's been terrific about 6 out of 7 times out, maybe he just naturally tapers off and he becomes a guy they consider for the pen. That Odorizzi, while saying, yeah, I don't like coming out of the pen through 4 shutout innings, his first time stretching it out of the pen before getting the start in Baltimore on Monday. They're just in a very command position for the dog days of summer, that if there's that little bit of attrition, they're very well equipped to handle it. Not that they've clinched a playoff spot yet, but they're probably 90% plus to get there. So they have about 3 months to sort out, all right, in the playoffs, you're going to have no more than 4 starters, much less 5, forget 6. So who is best suited to give them lengthy middle inning relief in addition to Javier?
Well, we did see them utilize that piggyback sort of mantra in the World Series under A.J. Hinch, so maybe we see that again going forward in the playoffs, should they make it there, and should we need to talk about that. Let's switch from the pitching to the offense. Yesterday on this channel, John Granado said his sources are telling him that 8 years, $240 million would have got the deal done to sign Carlos Correa. Correa is red hot right now, so it's real easy to spend Jim Crane's money for us. First, do you buy that number as being a number to get it done? And then second, with JV and Greinke's money falling off the books next year, is that a deal that maybe the Astros are more inclined to do?
Correa better be great for the next 3 months and then another strong postseason like he had last year. Right? For the Astros to do it now, no. I mean, you're buying high if Correa off probably the best regular season month plus of his big league career. You say, all right, now we'll do the 8 years. We'll do the $240 million, which, check my math, that would be $30 million per year. Right? If their upgraded offer was $5,125, to jump right now to $8,240, I think would be premature. Right? We're not halfway through the season. Correa has been going like gangbusters the last month. Well, the first month and a half, he was pretty average. He still doesn't get an A for the attendance grade when we're not yet to midterms. But it's as if the salary push light has gone on at full wattage for Correa. He's been just MVP level, both sides of the ball, really, the last month plus. So if he's going to finish the year hitting where his numbers are running now, almost 300, on base 400 with his walk surge, slugging over 500, he'll be a $30 million per year player somewhere. I'm still not convinced that it's here, but 8 years as opposed to demanding 10 because that's what Lindor got. Right? Forget Tatis 14. He's 22 years of age. But 8 years, I could envision the Astros stretching the rubber band to go that way. It would take Correa until he's 35 as opposed to 38 or 39. You'd probably look at the last couple of years as a loss leader on the back end of the deal as opposed to the lead end of the deal. 8-240. Correa needs a full season of excellence, I think, for the Astros to say, we'll do it.
On your show last week, you had, I think, the Astros as underdogs and a lot of this stretch that they just completed against teams like the Red Sox and White Sox. And you told me on this channel last week that that stretch really wasn't too much to read into that, considering not just the results, but kind of how handily they took care of business. Other teams and the media do seem to be taking notice. Even the statistics on Baseball Reference, their odds of the Astros winning the World Series spiked up to like 11.5%. So obviously we're not halfway through the season yet. A lot of baseball still left to be played. But I want to know, after this stretch, do you feel differently after that?
Fundamentally, no. Look, banking wins always matters, right? One on June 7th counts the exact same as one on September 23rd. I don't think we needed a reminder that the upside for this team, obviously, is winning the World Series. Right? Their top to bottom lineup depth, even with the dead weight toward the bottom. Miles Straw has been very competent over the last month, and you get the occasional long ball from Maldonado or Castro. You know, they're batting ninth. No one should be expecting Johnny Bench production out of their catchers. But 1 through 7, and in this stretch, I mean, Bregman getting hurt short term was a boon, right? He was in a terrible slump. Both Robel Garcia and Abraham Toro have big games filling in. Kyle Tucker's been out during this stretch. They have a magnificent 7 that no other lineup can top. With the balance and depth in the starting rotation, they're now nudged up against a pace to win 100 games, which I think would be more impressive with what they had coming into the season on some levels than the 107 games they won 2 years ago when you had Verlander and Cole, 2 of the top 3 or 4 starting pitchers in all of baseball. You had George Springer at the peak of his abilities. They have none of those things now, and here they are retooled and positioned to flirt with 100 wins. And at the end of this cushy stretch, Tigers, Orioles, I think they're going to be on pace to win more than 100 games. You still have the dog days of summer, but they're building in some margin of error. They're going to have another stretch where, geez, how come no one seems to be hitting? Or the pitching flattens out some. But that now would take them down to maybe a 92, 93 win type team, as opposed to if that was your ceiling, then if you're an 86, 87 win type club, you're sweating it out to make the playoffs. I think we're at the point where it would be certainly surprising, if not outright shocking, if the Astros are fighting for the postseason. And as we saw last year, when they didn't have a very good team. If you're in the tournament, you have a chance to win the tournament. This team will be going much more equipped into the postseason to win the tournament.